All right, everybody. Here is a question, and it is not a rhetorical question. An agent with 80 reviews mentioning first time buyers in Austin, Texas. An agent with 12 generic reviews saying this agent was great. When a buyer opens ChatGPT and asks for a recommendation in that market, who does AI service? And it's not a guess, guys. It's not random. It is determined by something specific most agents aren't paying attention to yet. And today, that's exactly what we're going to break down. So this is Elite Zone, and here we go. What's up, Blake? How you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning. We are doing well. Another day, another dollar.
Got to
So
get
let's
out.
get after
Yep, got to
it.
get after it. Blake, why reviews? This is what we're going to talk about. We're talking about reviews today, right? And why they're no longer just a reputation signal. They're a ranking signal now, right? And the distinction there, it means that every agent in your market, you've got AI scanning all of you and doing these comparisons,
Yeah.
right? It's putting it all together, and you want to be the agent that it's going to recommend, and you want to be the agent that is getting the most quality reviews that are going to be optimized to be that number one AI recommended agent, right? So we're not going to talk about chasing AI. We're going to talk about building what serious buyers already, leveraging the processes that buyers and sellers are already using. And we're going to talk about closing that gap between the agents who are winning AI search and the
Yeah.
agents that are still invisible. Right.
Yeah.
And I know we harp on this all the time, but guys, why we're doing this is we're trying to find different ways to cover all the different broad categories here and then link it together, right? So, and sometimes it's like we harp on specific things because they're important, but this is a big shift and we're not seeing it yet, but that's what we want to talk about. So it's this shift that reviews are really not what they used to be. They're not what agents think they are, and we need to reframe them because AI is involved now. So what's AI looking for in a review, Blake? Run us through this.
Yeah, so I think that there's a shift and reviews are just as important like they used to be, but there's more to them now, right? Before, kind of like your reviews was like that social proof, the evidence. It was kind of just like really a nice thing to have to be like, hey, yeah, no, look, I have all these reviews. People are
Right.
talking great about me. Like, this is awesome. And that is still the case. Like, I want to make that very clear. But now with
Yep.
AI and, buyers and sellers searching through AI systems rather than maybe just a, regular Google search going through different websites and stuff, there's now another level to the reviews part, which is now that ranking signal.
Right.
So as we've talked about, AI sites. It does not go and say, hey, I'm going to just recommend this person because they have an awesome website and they have reviews on their website. AI is literally searching. So if someone were to type in, I'm a first time home buyer, because remember, people, when they search in AI, are way more descriptive than they are
Yeah.
in a normal search.
Yep.
But when they say, hey, I'm a first time home buyer and I'm looking to buy a home in Phoenix, I don't have a real estate agent yet, like who's someone you would recommend? Or like give me contacts, right? So what happens is, and we'll use the original example that we used at the beginning of this episode, right? You have a agent who has 80 reviews mentioning now first time home buyers or the keyword Phoenix or whatever market they're in. And then you have someone, another agent in that same area that has maybe now 12 reviews, but they're more on the generic side of just, it was awesome to work with this person.
Mm.
I, enjoyed working with them. I highly recommend this
Yeah. Great
agent.
experience. Highly recommend. 5 out
Yeah,
of 5. All that's great. But
communication, like those are all good things. And like if you're receiving those reviews, like you should be proud. However, in regards to who AI is going to suggest, it's going to be the one that has one, more reviews, and two, the person that has those keywords mentioning in that review. So think about, once again, you have, those two different agents. I mean, even think of it as yourself. If you were looking for a home, if you were deciding, hey, I'm a first time home buyer, this is a big decision that I'm making, I don't know any real estate agents, or I've been referred real estate agents from a few people, and I want to go do my research now of who's going to be the best,
Mm-hmm.
you would do the same thing. You would go look at, hey, do they have a website? Do they have social media profiles? Do they have a Google business profile? Do they have reviews? And then you're going to go and look at those reviews, and you're going to do
Yep.
the same exact thing and say, hey, this person has had, 100 reviews, all mentioning, how they've helped first time home buyers, and all these first time home buyers are raving about them. Like, I'm going to choose that person than someone that's saying, hey, this person was great to work with, I would recommend them,
For
right? It just
sure.
gives me more context. On top of not only the social proof and like talking about the key words in your reviews, you also want the like recency of your reviews.
Yes.
That's a huge part that we've seen, even clients that come on, is they actually have a decent amount of reviews. Like, they might have started out with, let's say, 45 reviews, and they come on. Like, that is huge, because I'm going to be honest, there are a lot of times that agents are a little bit late to the game on getting reviews on their Google business profile. And so
Mm-hmm.
they're starting from the ground up. And obviously, if you're listening now and that might apply to you, just know you can get there if you work with the strategy we give you and you put in that work, and you're going to see the results. But if you're coming in with 45 reviews, but your last review was like 6 to 8 months ago, that also has an effect. So you
Yep.
might say, hey, well, I have 45, which once again, I'm going to praise you for.
Yep.
However, if you want to stay competitive in your market and stay in the top three on
Mm-hmm.
that Google listings where the map pack is, you need to be continuing to grow your reviews.
Yep.
We have one of my colleagues, I'm going to take this quote that she always says, which is, that Google placement on that map pack, that's rented space. That is not a guaranteed, oh, I'm ranked number one, unless you're paying literally thousands and thousands of dollars just to have that like sponsored section from Google, right? Like, they're only
Yeah.
choosing one or two agents, but they are literally paying thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
When you can do it with way more cost effective, with a team that's giving you the strategy to get there,
Yeah,
right?
I was just gonna say, if you have the amount of money that it takes to be successful with Google ads today, but you take that instead and you pump it into building an organic brand and running a system like this, you are
Yeah.
going to have much, much, much better
Yeah.
results, especially in the next 5 to 7 years. Because, like, I'll say it straight up: if you're not doing this stuff now, in the next 5 years, if you're still in real estate, you're going to have an irrelevant brand.
Yeah.
Like, it's
Yeah.
getting to that point. So,
Yeah.
anyways, sorry,
So
continue.
no, it's good. No, these are the things that I feel like our listeners like need to hear sometimes. And yeah, no, it's important to know, like, everything, like, at the end of the day, you are your business, and what you put in is what you get out. So the moment you take your foot off that gas, that allows opportunity for another competitor in your area to take that spot. And
Mhm.
instead of wondering how that happened, I always like to say, focus on what you can control and what you can do, and then we'll figure out the rest, right?
Exactly.
But to go back to the recency, to give examples, right? So let's say I am searching, or you have a prospect that's searching online, and they're trying to figure out what agent to choose, and they go and they're looking up reviews, and like I said, you have someone that has, let's say, 45 reviews, and but their last review was from, I don't know, 2024. And then you have another agent that maybe only has 20 reviews, but their most recent review was from this year, 2026. Well, what happens is, even though there's an agent that might have less reviews, there's recency. So it tells me they're active,
Yeah.
they're working with people currently, they are still in the business. And then when I look at the person that has 45, I say, oh, wow, they have 45 reviews. That's awesome. But their last one was from 2024. Okay, are they still active in real estate? Are they, up on the time since things, are adjusting, markets are fluctuating from 2 years ago? Like,
Yeah.
you start questioning, what happened, or like, are they going to really be able to help me do what I need to in my real
Yeah,
estate?
I've seen a blog post that's like semi recent and clicked on like one of the links and it took me to like a broken page. And this
Yeah.
one was like, best coffee shops in Claremont or something like that when I first moved down to the Claremont area from Escondido. And it
Yeah.
was a real estate, it was like a real estate neighborhood page or whatever. But they linked a restaurant in there or a coffee shop in there that had been closed for like 2 years.
Oh,
Right. So, and it was a semi recent blog. So I'm
yeah.
thinking like, all right, well, who did that? Like what
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that. It's the experience of it. Right. You're just kind of
100%.
like, yeah, maybe you got good reviews and everything, but why is there a broken link to a place that's been closed for 2 years in the neighborhood that you're supposed to be an
Marketing.
expert in? Right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's these little things, right? Because like you said, AI cites and it can see all of this stuff now. It
Yes.
can
Yeah.
put together all these dots. So you can't pick one lane and dominate that and be like, cool, I don't need anything else. You're only going to
Yeah.
grow so far with that now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
And to that point too, right, is like we were just talking about on the front end of like just buyers and sellers doing their own research and doing their own looking. But now with AI, what AI does, AI is not going to go and like determine, oh, well, they have this here, they have this here. AI is like, these are all different people, or this is all different information. But if you have reviews that are, one, not that many. If you don't have that many reviews, that's not going to be a good signal to AI. But two, if they're not recent, AI is not going to make assumptions. AI is going to straight up say their last review was from 2024. They are inactive. That's it. Unfortunately, that's the system, right? So if you don't want to be in that position, if you want AI to say, no, this person has great reviews, they have in their reviews that they help first-time home buyers, new construction, luxury properties, whatever it is, and they have recent reviews, that's where AI is like, this is a no-brainer real estate agent that I have to recommend to this person who is searching for this type of real estate agent. And that's how you're going to level up with your reviews. And on top of it, and a lot of times agents don't realize, and that's why I love that we do this, is we allow to educate, is you get reviews, you have recent reviews, you have keyword content in your reviews. But there's another piece to that puzzle, which is responding to your reviews. Because AI also sees, hey, this person, this business, not only is receiving, but then they are also engaging with their clients. And they get to also then create in that response also content that helps with that ranking because it sees that engagement. That's another piece. And I'm going to say this too. I mean, I've seen it. We've worked with over thousands of real estate agents.
Mhm.
You might not please everyone. You might start working with someone and maybe it doesn't work out. Maybe you guys realize we weren't good partners to work with.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, someone leaves a bad review. It stinks. It obviously is not something any business wants, whether you're in real estate or anything. However, it's an opportunity to also tell your story, because at the end of the day, there's always two sides to every story. One person might have a different perspective than you. So you get to kind of showcase who you are, whether that's responding like, hey, I'm sorry that you had this type of experience. It's definitely not the type of person I am or the way I want to conduct my business. Whatever happened, I don't know, situations.
Yeah, just showing integrity, right?
And then
And accountability.
I've even seen where people have written reviews on the wrong Google business profile.
Sure.
Because that's where, maybe you had inaccurate
Yeah.
information. So they thought you were a
Yeah.
brokerage instead of your personal page.
I'm actually Mark C. Johnson, not Mark D. Johnson. That's an error in their business, somebody's Google business profile. Can you please take this review off?
Yeah. So, and sometimes Google won't, like,
Right.
right? Because like if people could do that, I mean, that would unfortunately, I guess.
Somebody would take advantage of that, right?
Exactly. So that's where you can say, hey,
Yeah.
Mark, thanks for leaving a review, but I actually don't have in records that we've ever worked together.
Yeah,
Like,
for
would love to
sure.
connect and see what's going on.
Yeah.
And then from there, that gives an opportunity for maybe that person who is leaving that review can be like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. This was the wrong profile.
Yeah.
And maybe they update their review.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
So then
or
that,
also like a lot of times people that leave bad reviews, they sometimes just want to be heard,
yeah.
right? And so there's been many experiences where somebody is upset about something, they complain, and then if you leave something like, "Hey, I'm really sorry that you had this experience. Can we connect on the phone so I can hear you out, and then we can figure out how to solve it."
Move forward.
And
Yeah.
then you talk to that person and they're angry at first, and then you explain things, and then before you know it, you may even leave the phone with a raving fan. You have no idea, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Super
Yeah. So
important.
that was
Yeah.
another important part to reviews and stuff. So it's important to get them. It's important to stay relevant in those keywords. It's important to not only how recent you've gotten them, but to make sure you're responding. And if you haven't responded to all of them, like go back and respond. Like even if it's been months, go back and respond. It's not that big of a deal. That's something I would recommend too as a little to-do task for today.
For sure. Absolutely. Completely agree with that. And I know, we give you guys a lot of homework and a lot of tasks, but I'm telling you, these are worthwhile, and it's not hard. It's just work, guys. It's just like we say, right? Okay, well, then let's talk about, from invisible to AI recommended, the invisible agent and the visible agent, just so we are clear with these guys. And I know we've gone over this, but if you're visible, what does that look like? If you're invisible, what does that look like from like the structural things that need to be done viewpoint?
Yeah, so I'm going to challenge everyone right now, whether you're driving, whether you're doing some admin work on the side right now as you're listening. But I want you to take a second to think about your Google business profile. So for today, we're going to talk about kind of the Google business profile piece. And I want you to think about your Google business profile and the information that may be missing or the information that might need to be updated. And so what I mean by that is, do you have like photos on your Google business profile that maybe are like from Christmas time?
Yeah.
Or do you have an old brokerage logo on your Google business page?
Yep.
Or maybe your last headshot was from 10 years ago. And so then, it needs to be updated.
Oh my God, I'm laughing at that last one because, guys, I'm guilty of doing that. Like I've had people
Okay, Max, it's
I've
time to update.
got to hold me accountable. So don't do that. I was just, when she said that, I was just thinking of a semi. I mean, it was funny, but it was a little embarrassing too. It's just, a profile that I hadn't used for a while, and the person was like, "You look way different on this," but I found this profile of you, and it was from like 2008. So I'm
Oh
like
my
bad.
gosh.
So guys,
Okay.
like, look, your accounts that are out there they're harming you, and you don't even know it.
But yeah, like you just said, right? Like buyers notice that stuff. Like, and also AI notices that, right? They're going to be able to pull the image of you on your Google business profile, and then maybe you have an updated one on your website. They're gonna be like, wait, hold on, this is not the same person, right? Maybe you dyed your hair, or whatever it is. So those are important things to think about, because that is going to cause you to be invisible. When you have information that is not, well, one, missing, but two, not updated, AI can't recognize that. And so that's one where I would first start. I would look to see, if you don't have our local presence tool, which is one of our top tools that help real estate agents become visible, it helps them be trusted, found, and chosen. It allows them to make those updates in one dashboard. The amount of time our real estate agents talk about how they get to save because of this dashboard, because they make one change through it and changes on all of the directories is one, crazy, but they're so thankful because now they're able to put their time to something else. But if
Yeah.
you don't have our local presence tool and you're like, hey, I want to do this on my own, then go look up the 70 plus directories so that way you can make those changes, because one profile that's off will have an impact on
Yeah.
this. So make sure, once again, you go and you kind of do an audit and you're making sure all of your information's not missing and it's up to date on everything. But another one is brokerage changes. Like, it's
Mm.
common. It's very common for someone to change brokerages. I would say at least maybe 3-4 times in their real estate career, if this
Yep.
is like a lifelong thing that they're dedicating to. Because it's common. So let's just say you have a real estate agent that's with Keller Williams and they move to Compass.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe they move from Compass to their own brokerage that they created, right? What you're doing is you're changing your information. But if you have on your Google your old Keller Williams from years ago, and then you have on your website Compass, and then you have on these little directories like Yelp, City Search, Bing, literally 50 plus more directories, and you have 2 different or 3 different brokerages on there, AI is going to say, hey, I'm finding, I think, the same person, but they're all different brokerages. So this must not be the same person.
Yep.
And so what it does is it drops the confidence that AI has to even recommend that person. So what happens? They stay invisible because they are
Yep.
not sending buyers or even AI that trust signal of saying, hey, this is someone you can recommend.
Right. Yeah, it's interesting too, like in some AI tools, when you prompt it and you hit enter, it
Yeah.
shows you kind of like what the AI is thinking.
Courses.
And
Yeah.
you can see like, so like it's like, here's my plan, and then it'll be like, wait, no, I need to, this came up, that came up, I saw this, I'm reforming my plan, and then it maps through that, and it's like, wait, no. So you can see that it uses its own logic to determine this stuff, and it's not going to take the time to be like, okay, perhaps this person made some errors, let me do extra due diligence because this person may have lost some time and they didn't update all of these profiles. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just looking at the full picture.
Yeah.
Right? And who's got the most current, most valuable, and it's very effective at doing that, and like you said, since it cites, it can literally, if somebody's like, hey, I'm looking for a place in Huntington Beach and I really love yoga, I want apartments or houses or condos near yoga, X, Y, and Z, and you've got blog posts about, yoga studios in specific neighborhoods in your blog, AI can cite that specific thing from your article and literally put that, and then when they click on that, they're on your blog page. So it's much more specific now, right? So, I mean, I've literally been telling people, I used to say do a blog a week. I know this is insane, but now I've been saying, if you can, try to do one a day.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I get it, but a blog a day, if you can do it. I mean, but I digress. The reason is because, just like I'm saying, right? Like,
yeah, you don't want to become invisible. And I mean, I'll give you even just like an example, right? So you have, let's picture like a 15-year veteran real estate agent. They've closed plenty of homes over their time in the industry. They have a strong sphere of clients, but they never really focus on like the online stuff, like being visible online through AI tools, because at the time referrals were keeping them busy, and that is common. But as we know, like, the market has shifted, and just like the market shifts in real estate, the market shifts in how you have to market and stay ahead. And because, as markets have shifted, those referrals started to slow down. And suddenly that, veteran real estate agents like, holy crap, I've built a great business. I know what I'm doing and I've helped people, but nobody can find me online. And unfortunately, that is happening in a lot of other like real estate agents are feeling this type of pain because they're like, I know what I can do and how I can service, but unfortunately, once again, how buyers and sellers are searching and how they're choosing their real estate agents have changed. And just like that example, like even though they were working off of referrals, I mean, referrals only works for so long, right? Until that pipeline starts drying up. But at the same time, referrals still look you up. Referrals still want to know who they're working with. Like, yeah, I'm going to trust that person maybe a little more than like someone I have never met before, just because I have like that extra credential of who referred them. But just because you were referred to someone doesn't mean like you know them fully, right? Like you still are doing kind of like your background check to see like truly is this the person. So that's another thing to keep in mind, guys, is like you might not have had to focus on all of this right like in the past, but if you want to be successful, if you want to be in the game and continue doing this for another 5, 10, 15, 20 years, you have to adjust to how the market is now. And it's not that it's easy, right? Like it definitely takes time and work, but when you build the right system and you use the right tools, you can achieve it. And you can go back to, just working on your database and doing what you need while your systems do all the back end work, right? Like let AI help you and be a supporting system. And then that way you can continue doing what you're best at, which is helping people.
Yeah, lovely put. So the challenge is this, guys. This is what I want you to do. And I'm going to make it so ridiculously easy for you. But if you're driving, wait till you're done driving. If you're not driving, as soon as this episode is over, or you can even do this right now if you're listening in a new browser tab or if you got your phone. But I want you to go to agentelite.com/visible. Okay. The reason is because we want you to download this visible agent guide. This is the complete blueprint that maps out everything we're talking about. This is the answer to what do I do? When do I do it? How do I do it? Where do I do it? Why am I doing it this way? Does it work? Is there any results that I can, that you can tell me or show? All of this stuff is wrapped up here, guys. So this is all you have to do. And then get started with that, absorb it, and then drop a DM to us on Instagram and let us know how that's going for you. Because if you like that, then we have some more things that some more value that we can provide you with. Okay. That's it for me, Blake. What do you think? That's simple. I think that's simple.
I'm going to leave everyone with a little analogy that I have that's important. But when you don't show up in AI recommendations, it's like hosting an open house where buyers are driving right past your signs. Okay. You don't even know they're looking. You don't know they missed you. You don't know they chose someone else because they never had the opportunity or chance to even meet you. So, and the scariest kind of competition are the kind that you never see. So, you need to be visible. You need to be out there so that way people see you. They don't just pass on by, but they actually are wanting to communicate and chat with you. So become visible, get out of being invisible, and let's level you up.
All right. Couldn't have said that better myself, guys. We will see you next week for another episode of Elite Zone. Appreciate it. Share this with an agent or a friend or somebody in mortgage or title or escrow or whatever, just business. Share this with them if you think that we are dropping valuable knowledge for you, and we will see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.
Woo.